So the latest Supreme Court decision could clear the way for employers and universities to refuse free birth control based on their religious beliefs. Now, that ruling could affect millions of Black and Latino women already struggling in the wake of the coronavirus. Jacqueline Ayers, who is the Vice President of Public Policy for the Planned Parenthood Action Fund, is here to break down this ruling and the impact it's going to have. Good morning, Jacqueline. Thank you for being with us.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
So explain to us exactly what this decision means for women who currently do get birth control covered by their company via insurance.
Thank you so much. This decision this week by the Supreme Court is especially egregious. The court said that a Trump administration rule would allow for employers and universities who hold a religious or moral objection to birth control, that they could deny their employees and students this access to basic health care. And what's really important to remember is that birth control is essential basic health care. 9 out of 10 women at some point in their lives will use birth control. And unfortunately, this decision means that there will be more barriers in place for certain women.
All right, I want to break that down in just a second. But first of all, what is the bar for these employers? What do they have to meet to be able to say that, no, I'm not going to cover you anymore?
Under the Trump administration, we actually saw an expansion, and the bar for an employer or university is extremely low. All you simply would have to do is say that you have a religious or moral objection. There's no other proof that needs to be made, and then in turn, that university or employer could stop having coverage of birth control as a part of your health insurance plan, something you work for every single day as an employee.
So that's it.
And it's
just
really
a
important.
Statement. That's all they have to show.
Yes.
Okay, so let's break it down
correct.
even further here. How much is this going to end up costing women if they have to pay out of pocket? Because now they will be fully responsible, right?
That's right. And the cost of prescription birth control can depend on the method that you choose. And not one method is going to work for everyone. For some people who choose a long-acting form of contraception, that could mean up to $1,000 a year out of pocket. Really not sustainable for low-wage workers. It could mean for some people that they choose a birth control method. That could be up to multiple dollars a month that they wouldn't otherwise have, but their health plan should be covering. Unfortunately, what this Supreme Court decision says is your employer could deny your insurance coverage if they have a religious or moral objection to the type of health care that you need.
All right, and something that you touched on a little bit earlier, you said, this is a basic health need here, and it truly is, because it's not just to prevent pregnancy. You can address issues like endometriosis and other things with birth control. It helps monitor and control that and relieve pain, if you will. So that being the case, I think some that are watching are trying to grapple with the idea that Viagra is covered, but birth control will not be.
Yeah, it really is unfortunate that we've seen sexual and reproductive health care has been stigmatized in this way over and over again. We've seen attacks on this health care, and no other type of health care or prescription enjoys the same kind of opposition. We've only seen birth control targeted. This year, we actually are celebrating the 60th anniversary of birth control coming onto the market. It means that more women have been able to access education and employment opportunities, and really what this week's Supreme Court decision would say is that if an employer or a university wanted to take you back and limit your access, we're putting more and more barriers in front of care instead of making health care more accessible.
Quickly, I just have a few seconds. Is there any way that this can be repealed or reversed?
This is not over. What the Pennsylvania Attorney General, who brought this case forward, has said is that this will go back down to the lower courts. They will continue to fight. It's really important that because our bodily autonomy, ability to fight for basic health care is on the line here, that we continue to talk about this. And this is going to continue in the lower courts. And so we have not seen the last of this issue and challenges to this rule.
All right, Jacqueline, thank you so much for joining us and breaking it down. I do appreciate it.